Just imagine this. It's a Sunday morning and you're going out for your favorite brunch spot. When the air is cool, the sun is out, then you get to drive your Mazda MX-5. Oh, the wind going through your hair, the cool breeze, and people looking at you and just smiling at you and waving at you. That's all part of the ownership of a convertible. And yet, if you want to drive fast and you want to enjoy the car's dynamics, you can push the car as well. That's what makes an amazing sports car. And that's what the MX-5 is all about, right? So in this video, we're going to discuss about what would be an ideal income to have to actually own one of these very desirable convertible. By the way, before I start, just a big disclaimer. This is not professional financial advice. It's not intended to substitute that. This is just a way that I would budget my own money if I'm going to pursue my dream car, right? If you need those professional services, there are many of them out there, please refer to that, right? However, the reason I'm doing this video is I want to create a little bit more clarity and just have a little bit of an exploration to see, hey, what do I have to do to close this gap? Because I think that cars are great ways to motivate you, to go and do something different, take some risk and just
reinvent yourself.
Right? And part of it is knowing exactly what's the gap I have to close, and that's what we'll get at the end of this video, right? So with that, let's jump straight into the Mazda MX-5 calculation. Now, before I go into the calculation itself, there is a bit of an existential crisis because, in the ND, which is the latest version of the Mazda MX-5, when I say latest, I'm referring to right now 2023. There is a pre-facelift and then there's a facelift. There is the RF, which is the Targa looking thing, and then there's a soft top, and there's 1.5 and 2.0 automatic and manual. So it's something to really have a debate about. Now, if you ask me, okay, and this is again up to personal preference, if you ask me, what I will definitely look out for, okay, is for the, is for the soft top, because number one, it just looks so much better. It has that classic roadster look, that flat body, and then that soft top just completes it. The RF feels a bit, for me again, just a bit too forced. I like the soft top a bit more. And if you ask me again, I prefer the 2.0 because just having that little bit more power, especially when you're going uphill, it does really help. Not to say the 1.5 isn't all that bad, it's just good to have a little bit more power. And of course, if you can, get a manual. Now, some of you who are really experts in MX-5 would say, Thomas, where do you get this? Because they don't produce the ND2, the facelift version in this. Well, actually you can get it, but not in the place that you would normally think from Japan. You can actually get this from UK. Yes, because in UK, you can find Mazda MX-5 ND2 with the 2.0 engine, the soft top, and a manual gearbox, right? So I'm going to be basing off today's calculation around there, okay? So there isn't much in Malaysia, but there's an opportunity to do a grey import, right? So let's figure out what's the car price if I do grey import. Now I'm just looking through the classifieds at autotrader.co.uk, and I'm finding the 2019 models. Now take note, you can only import cars up to 5 years from its manufacture dates, okay? 2020, 2019, around 10,000 miles, 7,000 miles, 30,000 miles, but it's the manual soft top. I'm going to show you some of it over here. Hope you can see it. There are some good options over here. Man, damn, not bad, all right? So we take that in consideration. With the conversion ratio, everything, so on and so forth, I think it would be safe to say the car price would sit around the range, I'm being a little bit more on the approximate side because we're importing cars and many things involved and depending who's importing for you. But let's just say it comes up to a price of 200,000 ringgit. Now I know it's a little bit more expensive than some of the local RFs and stuff, but then again, I think having this three combo, personally, I think this would retain value better than the rest of it because it's, the novelty of having it, Just having it rare in the market would be something potentially retaining value, right? And the other good news is this. One thing I like about Mazda MX-5 is that they really nail the design. And because of that, I think in the many years to come, people will still want the Mazda ND2. So, I think the price is not going to go like down to like 30,000 or 50,000 after 10 years or something like that, it's going to still retain some sort of value because it's a desirable car. And plus the small engine, not being intimidating, that low road tax, and the connotation of having a Japanese sports car, it's not going to be that expensive compared to the Continental. So it does have that attraction that's going to retain in the market. Okay, of course it's great to drive as well. So let's just say I found a car that is going to cost me 200,000 ringgit to import into Malaysia. What's the down payment? Now, this can be a little bit of a long drawn process because some importers have different kind of importing methods, but let's just assume that we're going to do the traditional financing method, which is you finance 30% of the car's value, which is around 60,000 ringgit. Okay, registration fees. Now this one, let's say there are some admin fees, etc., etc. It's going to be around 2,000 ringgit. Okay, and administration fees 2,000 ringgit. The registration fees is like Puspacom, JPJ, etc., etc. Right? So $500, 2,000 bucks. Yeah. So as you can see, we don't really script this whole recording. Everything is done on the fly. All right. Road tax, 2.0, 380 ringgit, and insurance. So for insurance, what I love to do is go to this website called oto.my. Okay. By the way, I have no affiliation with them. It's just a website that I use. Okay. Now take note that it's not 100% accurate, but it gives you a gauge on what to expect to pay for insurance. Okay, so once you choose your comprehensive insurance, engine size, and NCD, non-claims discount. Now I'm going to base it off a 3-year NCD, which is 38.33%. So it works out to be 3,400 ringgits. Now, this is just the insurance, assuming you don't get anything else. But please do consider taking windscreen insurance, and also please also consider the floods, natural perils and stuff, because we live in a tropical country and we might face, the chance of you facing a flood is very, very high. Or having a tree fall onto your car is also very high, or branches and stuff like that. So I think it's just worth paying a little bit more to insure your car to give you a peace of mind. Okay, so if you take 3,400 to add on all those things, let's say it's around 4,400. Okay, additional 1,000 ringgit. Again, it's a rough figure. The whole idea is not to get an exact figure, is to get some sort of idea on how much you need. So let's add it all up together. So the upfront cash requirement can be a little bit hefty, around 67,280. Now I do know some dealers would try to get a higher loan so you pay less. It's actually up to a personal choice. Personally, I prefer to pay a little bit more upfront because then it reduces my monthly income. But if you really want it, you can get away with that. There's nothing wrong with that. No, especially if you're doing it with a car that I think, again, my opinion, will retain a lot of its value. Where you get in trouble is when the car depreciates so quickly that when you're trying to sell it, because there's so little capital to pay upfront, you have to pay a lot more when you're selling it. But I think in this case, if you pay this down, you're taking a loan of 130 plus or 130 plus thousand, you're practically safe. You can sell and retain quite a lot of your capital. Okay. Monthly repayment, how much money do we have to pay per month if you take a loan? Again, I'm not an advocate that you must take loan. I just think loan is a tool. There's no good and bad, it's just how you use it. Okay. So in this case, to make it more affordable for most people, we take a loan. So I go to this website called calculator.com.my, and you can do /car-loan, or you can just Google it. Okay. In this case, we key in the car price, down payment 60,000, loan period, I'm going to just go with 7 years, which I prefer, not too long, not too short, and an interest rate of, let's say, because it's an import recon, so it's going to be a lower interest rate. Let's say it's a 2.5% interest rate. Okay, so it works up to be 1,958,000 ringgit, right? But let's just make it simple. Let's just sum it up, round it up. 2,000 ringgit a month, right? That's the monthly repayment. So that makes your yearly repayment 24,000 ringgit per year. Okay, maintenance. Now, one of the things that MX-5s are great is, from what I hear again from owners of MX-5, the maintenance isn't crazy, right? So it's not something that you expect to spend so much, but it's again good to have some money parked aside. But you must understand that when the Japanese invented the MX-5, they wanted it to be a sports car that is not intimidating to own, and that also includes the financial aspects of it. And that's why I appreciate when they have smaller tires, because your tires are a lot cheaper with a smaller size as well, okay? But anyways, let's come back to the maintenance part. I think a prudent amount of money to put aside every single year is anywhere between 3,000 to say 7,000 ringgit or 8,000 ringgit per year. If you're even more prudent, you can put 10,000 ringgit aside, but I don't think you need to go that far. Let's just say on a yearly basis, I'm preparing 4,000 ringgit a year in case I have to fix anything. Now, the reason why I put this in the calculation is because if you don't put this, it becomes an unexpected expense. And if you don't plan for it, what often happens, some people will spend it and it really impacts their life. Then they're just really in over their head. They get into something they're not prepared for. And the other set of people are people who, they don't want it to impact their lives. So what they do is that they end up opting for the cheaper options for maintenance or parts replacement, which can be a bit dodgy. And I think that when it comes to certain areas like your tires, your brakes, and your steering rack and tire rods, all those things are very important for you to make sure you can drive, or your dampers or shocks, right? So 4,000, 5,000 ringgit a year, just in anticipation that you're going to spend it per year. Road tax, again, you're going to renew them, 380, and your insurance, let's say, every year becomes cheaper because of the NCD and our car value drops a little bit. Let's just say it drops to 3,500, okay? Let's add it all up together. So 24,000 plus 4,000, and then plus 380 plus 3,500. That works up to be 31,000 ringgit, 880. Okay, that's your yearly expense. Okay, which makes your monthly expense, if you divide this by 12, this works up to be 2,656. This is 60, yeah, 2,660. Okay, so I would anticipate, if I were to get an MX-5, to prepare 2,660 per month. And how you use it, well, how I use it is that I'll take whatever I need to spend and put it in the car and put the 660 aside. When I need to use it, I use it, okay? But it gives you a rough gauge. This should be the goal to aim for if you want to own this car comfortably, okay? Now, let's take a look at this. 2,660 per month as a car expense. So how much money you need to be earning per month to have this car be comfortable in your range? Okay, so I always like to do a little split. Okay, 30% to 20%. All right. Now in this case, there is something to really consider. The Mazda MX-5 may not be the only car that you have, because it's not that practical as much as we say that it's comfortable enough. But if you need to move people or move things, you might get yourself into some trouble, right? Now, I know some people, they're like, no, Thomas, I can do it. And yeah, I would do that if it's my only car. I would actually buy the MX-5, and on the odd times I need the additional car, I either borrow a car or, loan a car or something like that, right? Because you're car guys. But if you do have family or you have dependents on you and you do need to move people around, then maybe you need to consider a lower percentage, like 20%, because you need to have the additional 10 or 5 or 15 that you're going to use for another car, right? But if you maybe you already have a car that's paid off, like a Myvi or a Honda or maybe a BMW or something, and then sure, go ahead. But this figure, again, is not hard and fast rule. It's just a rough idea to know, okay, how much money I have to earn so to have it be comfortable. Okay, so let's take a look. If you're going to stake 30% of your income for this car, right, 2,660, divide by 30, that's 100. Okay, one more time, 2,660, okay, divide by 30, right? So it will be 3,866, okay, right? And if it's 20% of your income, okay, we just multiply by 5, it's 13,000 300. I think the more comfortable range is to have this one, to spend between 20% on the MX-5 and try to really, if you really just want to get around car, there's so many used, like Civics and Myvis, or, so many options around, right? Just to have that car, that sort of practical car, right? But yeah, okay, this is your only car. If you're going to do this at 30%, you cannot, you can technically take more loan and get another car, but I'm going to discourage from that, because I think that if you're going to spend 30% on a car, you need to spend at least 15, 20, if you can 30%, the similar amount on the car, onto something that you can invest on. Because as much as I'm a big fan of pursuing, driving a car that you love, but it's also that you put money aside for future investments, for future cars, or future life as well, okay? So, but here at 20%, it gives you a bit more leeway, right, for that, for additional car or additional investments, right? So now, coming to the end of the video, I think right now, when you see this figure, this is how much I have to earn to afford this car. I think for some people, they may say they get discouraged, but that's not the whole point of this video. The whole point of this video is to inspire that you actually can do it. It's not just something that you dream about. And now there is sort of a figure to say that's the gap I need to close. So for example, if you're earning, let's say you're earning 5,000 ringgit a month, and maybe you want to aim for something in between, right? I think, let's say 10,000. Then the question you're going to ask yourself is, how do I add an additional 5,000 ringgit a month to my income, right? And it's important to ask yourself the question, because whatever we focus on, it grows. Okay, you have a goal, right? You have something that you desire, and then we're going to ask yourself how to get there. The destination first, then how to get there. And that's the whole point of this video. There are many ways to make money out of the market, but the most important question I want to inspire you to have as my fellow car community is to think about, what are the ways can I increase my income, or what opportunities are out there? Because if you don't have a vehicle to get to where you want to go, it's time to go shopping for vehicles, right? There are many ways to earn money, right, other than the market. And if you haven't found it, I would highly encourage you to spend some of the leisure time you have watching TV or going to the movies, or just lepak with your friend, right? Rather than spending those time just hanging out, invest 2 hours a week, 3 hours a week, go out there and just explore the world of making other sort of income, okay? And I promise you, when you actually found a way to do it and you actually execute it, you're going to feel much more in control of your life. You're going to feel that you can actually create something out of your decisions, right? And if you do it for the MX-5 and you succeed in doing this, hey, just imagine you can increase your income by 5,000 ringgit in the next 6 months to 1 year. What would open up for you when you can actually achieve it? Wouldn't you start thinking of something else? Would you think about, hey, I can actually buy a better house. I can actually provide better for my family. I can actually pursue the next dream car. And that's what I'm really trying to enroll all of you by watching this video, right? Not so much just about cars, because at the end of the day, it's about, enjoying life. And car lovers, we enjoy this life of driving cars and pursuing our dream cars. Now, before I end as well, I do want to say this. For those of you who are saying,
Thomas, cars are depreciating asset. You should never spend money on a car. It's a stupid thing.
Well, I think that's a valid opinion. If cars for you, all it is just a transportation, please disregard anything that I say. Right? In fact, if cars are nothing but transportation, there's some friends who actually ask advice from me, and I'll just say, look, then just keep whatever car you're driving, as long as it's reliable, it's safe enough. Stop buying and stop looking for other cars and spend it in wherever that you love. Just so happen, if you're watching this video means you love cars, then this is the way to get there, and understand it is just an expense and you can figure it out for sure, right? And for those of you who can afford it already, please go and get an MX-5 if you're looking for it, and please get the soft top manual 2.0, right? ND2, right? 180 horsepower, right? With that, this is the end of the video. I hope that I created some value, some inspiration for you. If it did, please help me hit the like button, and please subscribe to my channel for more content like this in the future. We're going to be generating more videos like this based on the feedback. It seems pretty positive, to inspire, and I really want to support my car community to pursue more cars, right? My dream is one day I'm driving down the road and say, hey Thomas, I bought this car because of your video. That will make my day, right? And I will also be launching a new set of videos, which is called Live and Drive, and something that I always personally want to do, which is discovering where we can travel to enjoy a nice road trip and enjoy life with whatever car that you have. So it's sort of like a car review and car lifestyle, and it's something that I always wanted to do, so I'm very excited to launch that. If you want to stay tuned or want to get more of those content, please subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell notification so you get an alert every time it's up, right? And let me know in the comments below, what other cars that you'd like to discuss, or what other topics around car ownership that you'd like to have, so me and my team can figure out what's the best content to put out in the future, right? With that, thank you so much for watching again. Love you guys. Keep dreaming and keep it 100%. Peace out.